Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Who the Hell Asked. I am your host, Byron, alongside my co-host.
Slade, how's it going, everybody?
It's going good. I ate shit over a pet gate, but that's a different story for another day.
Okay, yeah. To put it in perspective, he didn't literally eat shit, guys. He fucking hit his head on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
Definitely don't want my co-host to be eating shit. So,
No, not at all. Not at all. But we have a couple of interesting stories. Today was a little lighter, but we're heading towards the Game Awards season,
yep.
so that's when the news will start to get ramped up. But oh boy, do we have a fucking winner of a first topic, don't we?
Yeah, so Blizzard has announced the delay of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4. Um,
Yep.
to nobody's surprise, it's taking a little bit longer to develop amidst probably their massive employees like walking out and just everything else that's going on with their company. I imagine it's a shit show over there. So
Yep. All the Blizzard controversy. Also, thank you for this experience. But yeah, all the controversy, and apparently even Jen O'Neill, the co-leader of Blizzard, told staff she's stepping down. So like, we haven't covered it too much, but it's a fucking shit show going on over at Acta Blizzard.
yes, so we'll continue to follow the situation as it evolves. But like I said, it's just Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 got delayed.
Yep.
Nobody's
And
surprised. Everybody's walked out.
yep. And well, for Overwatch fans, they've been dealing with like a drought of content for years, and it's going to continue even longer. And I think Overwatch as like an IP and a brand are like on the cliff's edge of like irrelevance.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I think Diablo is going to be well and fine,
Yeah,
but
Diablo's gonna be.
I think Overwatch is kind of starting to see the end of its large relevance, especially because other games like Overwatch, even though it's more of a CS:GO type game, kind of stole a lot of the thunder and whatnot. Oh, not Overwatch, sorry, Valorant.
Yeah, Valorant. Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll continue to follow that situation. We got possibly even bigger news than that that could have a lot of implications.
Potentially.
Sega and Microsoft to explore a strategic alliance to create new strategic titles for Sega.
Yes, that's right. And the main thing is for Sega's quote super game. Now, for those who are like, what the fuck is a Sega super game? Well, Sega 4 months ago, actually no, it's like 6 months ago at this point, announced that that they want to create a large scale FPS title with a European studio to create this super game, which is a global online I think free to play game. They don't really say, but it's going to be one of those like games as a service games, and they're aiming for lifetime sales of 100 billion yen.
Yeah,
And
so
they're yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
and they're partnering up with Microsoft to use their Azure cloud technology for this super game, and potentially more stuff.
All right, so what does this mean? So obviously, this doesn't mean no, Microsoft's not buying Sega. Sega isn't suddenly a Microsoft flunky and
Yeah,
locked to
that
only making Xbox games. But
that
this
feels
could
like
be
a
pretty
meme.
huge in terms of the
Yeah.
Super Game because we never actually covered this when the idea of the Super Game came out. But think of it kind of like if anybody's ever seen Sword Art Online, you know how they had that Gun Gale MMO like bit
Yeah.
with like the shooter and whatnot. It seems
Yeah.
like they're going for that style of online game. So it's kind of like a massive first-person shooter kind of experience. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like if Fantasy Star Online was simultaneously a first-person shooter is what they're going for.
Actually, I never thought of it like that. Yeah. Fantasy
So
Star Online, but a shooter.
yeah,
Wow.
this could actually be pretty massive for both companies involved because out of all the European and Western studios, they actually made this partnership with Microsoft.
Well,
So
okay, they did partner with like not Xbox Microsoft, like Microsoft.
yeah, it's Microsoft, but it's still an interesting alliance overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this game's probably 3 or 4 years out at the bare minimum,
Yeah,
probably even
potentially
longer.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is definitely really interesting. We'll kind of follow this as it develops as well. But
Yeah.
like I
And
said, this doesn't mean Microsoft's buying Sega.
yeah,
Everybody
like
can chill out.
I feel like that's just a giant meme at this point that people want Microsoft to buy out Sega. That's it. Am I not wrong, Slade? Feels like
See,
a
I'm the
meme.
opposite. I don't want that. I think these large console companies buying out the rest of the industry is bad for the industry.
Like, I will say this: if it's like a struggling developer, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down
Sega,
for that. Like,
Sega's not struggling. Sega is definitely not struggling.
yeah, like when Nintendo, for a period of time, picked up Platinum Games. When
Or,
those
like, help
games were
them-
like fucking
yeah.
struggling, they started publishing everything they were releasing.
Yeah, that's a good example. Or like, I think Nintendo bought maybe like Next Level
Yeah,
Games or something. That's a good example.
yeah. So,
But yeah,
I don't
we'll
mind when they're
definitely-
helping struggling companies. It's just when they outright acquire, like Microsoft acquiring Bethesda and like a bunch of other shit like that. Like, that's not good for the industry. So,
Yeah, and we will keep our eyes on this if it develops into anything more, and if Who the Hell Asked is still around in 4-ish years or so, we'll cover the Super Game.
oh yeah, the super game. I wonder that's what they're gonna call a super game.
No, that's probably the code name.
Yeah, it'd
Code
still be
name
funny though.
Super Game. What a code! That sounds like a console code name, honestly.
A super game system.
A Super Game.
I mean, shit, we had the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and
And-
speaking of Super Game systems, the Switch is on a fucking animalistic course.
Yeah, so not quite how I would put it, but we finally had the sales numbers for the past quarter. Unfortunately, it only goes up until the end of September, meaning
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of really interesting, titles, and more importantly, the Switch OLED left out of these numbers because I think seeing what Metroid Dread and Mario Party Superstars is doing on top of Switch OLED sales would have been very telling for the company's near to immediate future strategy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that will have to wait until around February of next year. But we do have some interesting stuff with this quarter's go around for sales numbers. So the Switch, previous quarter sold 89.04 million Switches. Now, they've sold 92.87 million units, surpassing the PlayStation 3.
That is correct. So going on overall percentages right now, because that's just an additional, like 3 million units or so. So overall profit for Nintendo is down 24.5% compared to the last fiscal year around this time. So long story short, we knew that there was going to be a drought due to, Animal Crossing coming out last year and being the game with the pandemic, as well as a bunch of other titles. Whereas this year, we haven't really had any releases, at least not until October.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I will continue to say and meme it up that playing cards are the biggest growth for Nintendo. That will never not make me laugh.
oh lord.
Playing cards up 47.2% from fiscal year from quarter 2 21 to fiscal quarter 2 2022. Oh,
All right, so let's talk about some other takeaways for this before we get into possibly the most interesting news of this information.
Oh, yes.
So, some takeaways. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still top of the food chain, selling 1.5 million units. This shit's going to continue to sell. Honestly, I think as long as this sells at least 1 million units a quarter, there's no incentive for them to make Mario Kart 9. So, do not expect to see Mario Kart 9 possibly ever on Switch.
Yeah,
So
to give you the numbers, last quarter, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 37.08 million units. This quarter, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 38.74 million units, surpassing Mario Kart Wii as the best-selling Mario Kart of all time, just by itself. No 8 plus 8 Deluxe. Now it's just 8 Deluxe.
that is correct. So that's probably, in terms of game sales, the biggest takeaway overall. Animal Crossing's finally lost a lot of steam and luster, getting
Yep.
pretty close to 1 million units sold this last quarter, but I think
Yep.
ultimately this is probably close to the peak for that game
Yep.
as sales
33
continue to drop.
Yep, 33.89 million units the previous quarter, now 34.85 million units this quarter. Who knows if the DLC did any bump to the sales numbers? We'll find that out next quarter.
As I said, February is going to be a very interesting month when we go over this quarter right here.
Yes,
Because, like I said, we're
absolutely.
going to have the Switch OLED numbers. We're going to have the sales numbers for Metroid Dread and Mario Party Superstars.
Stars. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we're gonna see numbers on the expansion pack, and we're gonna see if the outrage has led to a decrease of people, getting the expansion pack overall. Because I think we have numbers for just the amount of Switch owners that play and pay for an online service. I think it's like 33%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
pretty
do have
standard.
those. Yep, we do have those numbers. About 33 million, 32 million, over 32 million Nintendo Switch Online members as of September 2021. This does not, again, sadly, this does not include the expansion pack, but it seems pretty like on par with what the other online services do.
Yeah, for their console. I think 33% generally where most consoles kind of hit their, online subscription to not online subscription, ratio there. So that's pretty
Yep.
standard.
Yep. Some other notes. Skyward Sword did 3.6 million units.
Yeah, which not bad, but considering that a lot of people were looking forward to a Zelda title last year, and the Zelda title we got was Skyward Sword, and
Yeah.
they locked behind, a lot of quality of life features behind that amiibo. I
Yeah.
would say that was probably the best they could expect. Ultimately, I think this is a letdown for the Zelda series overall, though.
Yep.
So, some other interesting things to talk about. You see that Nintendo on, if you look at page 41 here. So this shows the future outlook of what Nintendo's playing, and you can
Oh,
see on the far right there that in their future plans they're developing an integrated hardware software gaming system.
Yep.
So this all but confirms that Nintendo has started development on the next generation of console.
Or at the very least, they are in the planning phase.
Yes,
If not, they are starting to like get together what is going to be the next Nintendo system.
that is correct. So, what does this mean? I don't think this comes out like next year, the year after, anything super crazy like that.
We're a ways away from.
Yeah, we're
from,
a ways away for this, and I think with the chip shortage system and or outage problem thing, throwing out 50 words here, blah.
Oh yeah, with the global chip shortage, it should Nintendo probably are smart to just like keep selling the Switch as long as they possibly could.
Yeah, and then just develop software.
Yep.
I think that'd be the most important thing for them to do, especially because I think next year is where a lot of their next generation of hard hitters are coming up. Breath of the Wild 2, the 3D open world Kirby game, like fucking
Yep.
crazy. I can't even say that.
Yeah, like holy shit. But yeah, uh we have the Pokemon remakes, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. We have Legends Arceus, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, Splatoon 3, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, Bayonetta 3, Like, whew.
Yeah, next year is going to be a very big year for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Starting
Triangle.
November or later this
Yeah.
month for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, Triangle Strategy, the Advance Wars remake. Like, 2022 is popping for Nintendo.
yeah, this year was a bit of a down year. I think we literally had to wait till October to get some decent games, but Metroid Dread's really good. And then me and Byron could both attest to the quality of Mario Party Superstars. So
We even did a video. If you haven't seen it, watch it, where we give our first impressions of Mario Party Superstars. It's
yeah,
fucking good.
Byron, do you have any major takeaways from Nintendo sales units overall?
33. I think this is the first time in a long time we've seen like numbers for Switch Online, which is something very interesting. To see for sure.
Yeah, I think they're wanting to talk it up now because of the expansion pack coming out. So
Yeah,
they're
and
kind of
who
selling
knows?
their shareholder, hey, look, the online's doing so great and blah, blah, blah. And then next quarter is where we're going to get the info if they decide to share it, which they should, because I think they're required to post their sales information. But as I said, we'll see if all the outrage over the expansion pack is going to actually impact sales or not. So
Yep. And of course, again, we have said this a few times. We wish October was included. 'Cause
yeah,
that was
as I said, a lot of information we wanted to see in regards to like saying the Switch is immediate future, the Switch OLED, all that information, stuff like that.
yeah,
We just don't have it because it was a
Yeah.
month early, but probably for a good reason, so they could tally up all in one quarter. So we'll have
Yeah.
more conclusive evidence one way or another by waiting until later.
yeah. At some point. And but yeah, this has been a bit shorter, but a kind of interesting episode of Who the Hell Asked.
Yeah, short and sweet. I like
Yep.
it.
Short and sweet. Obviously, Game Awards are coming up, so get ready for coverage of that.
Yeah, get ready for me to speculate about how they're going to rig it like they do every year.
This has been Byron,
And this has been Slade.
and we will see you all next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.